This episode of the Flying Kimura is brought to you by Sweatcoin. Sweatcoin is the app that pays you to walk. Sign up using the link in the description, and you'll get yourself one free Sweatcoin just for signing up.
Guys, usually during an advertisement, somebody's trying to sell you something. Today, we're not trying to sell you anything. We're actually going to pay you. That's right. You can buy real things in the sweat store, and you can actually get money for your sweat coins, like United States dollars. So, go on today. Use the link in the description, and it's going to work out for you. Yo, what's up, mixed martial arts community? It's your boys, Bradis and Uriah Warner, coming to you for a special UFC, well, hold on a second, just fight night 143. And this bad boy is going to be aired on both ESPN and ESPN Plus. And for you noobs out there, this is the first mixed martial arts event hosting on the, I don't even know what ESPN stands for. Entertainment Sports
Something
Pirate Network. I don't know. ESPN. All right. I like the deal. Not a huge fan of having to pay $5 a month, but when you have top tier people like Henry Cejudo and TJ Dillashaw fighting for a super fight. I mean, this fight was originally supposed to be on pay-per-view, so $65. And if you want to watch this one, you only got to pay $5.
And you get the rest of the month's worth of fights that are going to be out there.
And everything else on ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
Everything else on ESPN Plus. It's kind of like Bellator's DAZN deal.
Yeah.
For the haters.
Very reminiscent of that.
And, guess who had probably which one going on first? Oh, wait. It was 100% Dana White. Had the ESPN Plus deal done first. Coker followed up, which was smart. I'm never going to bag on a guy for following a trend. That's the right trend. With that said, let's get into the fights. So, Uriah, first one we got Henry Cejudo, the 125 champ, gold wrestling Olympicer, versus TJ Dillashaw at 125. So TJ's coming down in weight. What do you think?
Dude, Bruce, I would have to say I got TJ winning this fight. We talked a little bit last time about how every time someone has changed a weight class for or whenever there's a title, like two title fights going together, the person who changes the weight class is the person who typically wins. So, not that I think that's the reason why he's going to win. I think TJ Dillashaw is the bad man. He's going to beat Henry Cejudo. But I think that trend is going to continue because I think TJ Dillashaw is just going to really pound on Henry Cejudo. And I think it's going to be a short fight. I think it's probably going to be like first, second round, but probably first round.
I'd have to agree with you. That's what happened with him when he fought Demetrius Johnson the first time. DJ was able to take care of him pretty quickly on the feet. I would have to agree. I like Henry Cejudo. I'm a Henry Cejudo fan, but I'm a much bigger TJ Dillashaw fan, and it's not because of how they present themselves or anything. Both are really respectable guys. Both handle themselves with a lot of class, and they're both very entertaining. They're talking a little bit of trash about each other. They're getting the fight up, but they're keeping it respectful. I got TJ by a mile though, and that's just because Cejudo, I've seen TJ Dillashaw fight live. I saw him in Chicago fight Hennenbrau the second time, and his movement is next level for real. When you see it in person, it's like a masterpiece. He cuts the cage off so much better than anybody else. The one fight where he didn't do it, the Dominic Cruz fight, you look at that, he wasn't moving a lot. Then he went right back to the movement, got his groove right back, and he's beating guys like, you look at somebody like John Lineker, who might be like comparable a little bit stylistically, where he might not have the wrestling, but he's like kind of a shorter, stubbier guy.
Yeah.
And trust me, hey, TJ Dillashaw, he might not have won the gold medal, but it's MMA wrestling. TJ's
a little
got
different.
Really, really, really good wrestling. He was a Division I wrestler.
Yeah.
I think TJ's gonna knock him out in the. So I'll give him the second round because Cejudo's got a chin. I mean, he just went 5 rounds to DJ and won. So we clearly cannot sleep on Henry, because he'll surprise you.
Oh yeah.
And he's clearly got a lot of fight in him. I mean, I think he lost to Benavidez, right? But whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
co-main. Greg Hardy. It's not funny, but Greg Hardy versus Alan Crowder. A little controversy here. I'll introduce it and we'll move past it. Greg Hardy was accused, and I'm gonna have to plead ignorance on the details of his case. I know that he was accused. I know it was enough to have him cut from most of the NFL. That being said, I don't know anything else about it. I just know that whatever the accusations were, whether he was found guilty, whether he was found innocent, I literally don't know. So if you want to rip me apart in the comment section for not doing my research before I did this, fair. But I'm just trying to not pass judgment on a man who I can honestly say I don't know what happened. Dana White seems to think that it's all in the past. Dana doesn't like to give people second chances. I'll tell you one thing right now. Dana White's looking for a reason to get rid of you sometimes.
yeah.
So I'm going to give Greg Hardy if no more mistakes, I'm glad he's in the UFC because he seems to be a really talented fighter. Going against Alan Crowder, who is 7-3-0. 7-3, excuse me. 0-1 in the UFC, 1-0 in Bellator. And then he won his fight on the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series. So, a dangerous guy on a little bit of a streak. What do you got, Luke? Or are you right?
Who do I have? Who's he fighting again? Sorry.
It's Alan Crowder versus Hardy.
Yeah, I would probably say I'm going to go with Greg Hardy on this one. I think he just might shock a few people with what he does. Like you said, he won Dana White's Contender Series, so he was on it. So if he was on that and they brought him to the UFC, I'm gonna assume that he's probably gonna do pretty okay. They're not just gonna bring you in for nothing.
I'd have to agree. Greg Hardy is. The fact that they put him in the co-main event slot here should tell a lot of people that Dana White's pretty big on this guy. I've seen him fight. I'm on Dana White's side. This guy's a dog. I'm taking Greg Hardy. And I hope he really did turn his life around. Because it seemed like even if, he was found guilty of this domestic violence, where, hey, if, whatever the justice system says you need to do if you're guilty of domestic violence, I'm down with it. But, hopefully he put it in the past and is a good guy now. Hate to see somebody waste potential like that. Gregor Gillespie versus Yancy Medeiros. Medeiros is 3-1 in his last 4. He took a loss to Cowboy in his last fight. That's tough. Gregor Gillespie. What do you got here, Luke?
I'm gonna say. I want to say Yancy. I know that he took that loss, but I think he could definitely bounce back after that. Yeah, I could see him beating Gregor. We'll have to see. I think that'll be I think it's gonna be a big fight for him, but I could definitely see him winning this fight.
I would have to agree. I think Yancy's gonna win it by a lot as well. I think he'll probably get a second round finish here. And Yancy, if you're watching this, I follow you on Instagram, bro. Coconuts. You live in Hawaii, all right? Here on the Flying Kimura, we love coconuts. That's what our Organosource keto protein is with the MCT powder that's in it. That's what it's 70% based out of. Look at this, guys. I'm telling you right now. Go to Hawaii. Get yourself some coconuts. Oh, just lean. Burning body fat. All right? And you know who else burned body fat? Yancy Medeiros. He's at 155 now, and he's looking good. And did he bump up to 170? He might have. It doesn't matter, dude. Follow Yancy Medeiros on Instagram. This guy kind of used to be chubby. He's yoked now. Cut up. and he's training with the Diaz brothers, so you know he did it clean.
It's true.
Yancey, you're my boy. You're gonna take home the W. All right. Jiu-Jitsu, my man, Joseph Benavidez, versus Dustin Ortiz. And Dustin Ortiz, we got a 3-fight win streak, but he's like 16-9 or something. It's not very good. I'm going Jiu-Jitsu. I don't think he's gonna mess this guy up. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think. I mean, it's easy to get. Well, I shouldn't say. Well, that's easy to get.
Can you not mess with the lighting, please?
Yeah.
Put
Sorry, my foot hit the.
It's hard to find good help.
Hit the power strip, which had our lamps on it for lighting, but. Sorry, I'm gonna have to go with. I don't think Ortiz is gonna win this one.
I think it's a tune-up fight, and I think they're figuring out how good Joseph Benavidez looks. I think he's gonna look great because they're getting rid of the 125 division. They're gonna see if he can go up.
Yeah.
And he's won 8 out of his last 9. He's coming off a W. Drop one to Sergio Pettis. Happens, buddy. Sergio's a little bit better than people think he is. Including myself, probably. PVZ, we got Paige Van Zant versus Rachel Ostovich. And now, this is where a little bit of controversy comes in. Rachel, unfortunately, was just the victim of some serious domestic violence. He hasn't been convicted in a court of law yet, but I think it's safe to assume with this one, I mean, the girl gets punched in the face for a living. If she's calling the police on somebody for getting punched in the face, she probably wasn't appreciative of it at the time. So, fuck that guy. And who is a mixed martial artist, by the way. And, you know, maybe don't book him for fights for a while. But Greg Hardy on the same card, you know what? They went to Rachel about it, and they said, are you comfortable with it? She said yes. So anyone out there who thinks that Greg Hardy being on the same card can be offensive, which I lean a little bit that way, we got to let it go because it's Rachel's call. And she said no. She doesn't care. I think, that being said, I think Paige Van Zant's going to destroy her. With all due respect to Rachel, we're in your corner with your fight against domestic violence. What do you think, Kimura?
Yeah, I think that, I think Paige is going to win. I think that she's just I think she's going to beat her up, man. Like, I think she's going to bring more of the fight, based on her previous, like, the way she's performed, you know?
I'd have to agree. That's all I'm basing it off of. I think
previous performances,
I think Rachel is ready to go. It's the fight. This will be like the fight of her life. And I think she's gonna do great, but I think Paige is just gonna be a little bit better. Did I put my shirt on? I did.
You did. You took it off.
Paige, by the way, congratulations on the marriage. We're really happy for you. By the way, MMA community, we all see your comments on Paige Van Zant's comments. It's a little inappropriate. I bet her husband doesn't appreciate it. Thank you. Glover Teixeira versus Ion Cutelbala. 3-2 in the UFC.
2-3 out of the last 5. Man, dude, I don't know. Like, Glover Teixeira, don't get me wrong, bad man, but like, he's gotten beat up lately.
You just lost to Corey Anderson.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna win this one, man. I think he might be getting to that point where he's like kind of turning around, where it's like, yeah, he was doing really good, and now he's just been beat up a lot of times, and he's just gonna like kind of just lower into the rankings.
Yeah, he got knocked out pretty tough against Alexander Gustafsson.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
And Anthony Johnson, like, I think literally knocked his tooth out.
In like a couple seconds.
Yeah, like that's how hard he hit him. That is like, with a mouth guard in. Well, it might have been one of his lower teeth, but either way, he got a tooth knocked out of him. That does not happen that often in the octagon. He's been hit pretty hard, man. Like,
yeah, it wasn't good. I'm gonna take Glover though.
You gonna take Glover?
I'm gonna take Glover.
I would prefer Glover to win. I'm just not sure that he will.
I'm taking Glover by first round knockout.
Okay.
Mr. Teixeira, if you don't knock this guy out in the first round, maybe think about retiring. He had a great career.
Yeah, I would hope that he wins because I want to see him continue to fight. But like you just said, it might be retirement time. If
I'm taking him to win. All right.
I hope he wins.
Prelims. We got the Don, Mr. Cerrone, Cowboy, versus Alex Hernandez, who is 2-0 in the UFC, and he has a knockout win over Beneil Dariush, which quite impressive. Beneil Dariush is a top 15, certainly in the world, maybe top 10 in the UFC. I think if he's not ranked, people might be taking his losses a little bit to an account. He's won a lot of fights. And Alex Hernandez knocked him out. It's pretty impressive. I'm still going to take Cerrone, maybe by second round, probably by submission again. His submission game's pretty slick. What do you think, Kira?
I would say I don't want Donald Cerrone to win, but I think he will, and I think it will be submission, probably like third round. Especially if Alex Hernandez gets tired. I would rather have Alex Hernandez win because I'm tired of. I don't really have anything against Donald Cerrone, but I'm just tired of everyone being like, this guy's got the record for most wins in the UFC, and they're making it seem like he's just like the GOAT or something. Maybe not the GOAT, but they think he's so amazing because of that. And I'm like, no offense, like Donald Cerrone did fight for the belt, but he does have a lot of wins that I don't think were as hard to get, maybe.
No, he's very willing to take opponents.
Yes, he
to
fights
take
all the time,
opponents.
but he doesn't always fight at the same like top contenders level, maybe.
He definitely doesn't.
So like, whereas like, I don't know, it's just because like I'm tired of hearing that because they're like, well, he had passed up Michael Bisping and wins. I'm like, dude, but Michael Bisping also fought a lot of bad people, and he had to fight GSP. Like he fought. I mean, he did win the belt, unlike Donald Cerrone, and did beat a lot of top contenders and have to crawl his way to the top a few times. So like, he also had to fight a lot of people that were in title eliminators. Whereas I don't know if Donald Cerrone did as much as that. And again, I have nothing against the dude. I just would not like to hear people keep talking about him. But I think
he might be a little overrated, but I'm never gonna hate on a guy.
No, I don't. I have nothing against him.
Who fights all the time. Seems to be a pretty good dude.
Yeah.
Then we got Ariani. Maybe. I'm sorry if I truly am apologizing if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Lipski versus Joanne Calderwood. Lipski's it's her UFC debut, but Calderwood is 3-2 in her last 5, in her last 5 in the UFC. Calderwood seems to be the kind of girl who pulls these ones away, who digs deep and kind of wins, even though you don't think she's going to. So I'm gonna go with Joanne. What do you think?
I would agree. I think that this is gonna be one of those fights where it's like she's gonna win because she has to type thing. Because to her, it's like, yeah, I need to win this fight because I've only won. I'm 3-2 in my last 5 right now, and I need to make sure that I'm not going to be 3-3 in my last 6. I'm not trying to have even losses and wins. So I think, like you were saying, she's going to dig real deep and kind of.
I think she'll pull it out.
She'll pull out because she has to.
I think she's going to win it. All right, we got John Lineker versus Corey Sandhagen. Mr. Sandhagen's 2-0 in the UFC. KO'd his last 4 opponents. And Lineker's 8-2 in his last 10 bouts. He beat everybody but TJ, and then he lost to Ali
Ali Abdelaziz.
No, Ali Bago Madamedo. But I'm sorry, he's a really talented fighter, and I should know how to pronounce his last name.
Yeah.
I just don't know how to. Ali, you're really good.
Ali Abdelaziz is Khabib's manager. Who has 4 bouts and lost 3 of them.
He's a terrorist.
Yes, all of them.
I got Lineker. I don't even know who this other guy is. No offense. You have an impressive record when I looked at it. You knocked out your last 4 opponents. it might just be a little bit too much too soon. I think Lineker's going to take this one away.
Yeah, I would agree. I think this is going to be a similar situation to what we saw with what was it, Tai Tuivasa, where Tai Tuivasa, they're like, oh, he's 10-0. He's all his UFC wins are by knockout. I'm like, well, all his wins are by knockout. And not that he's not a bad fighter, but like I don't think he lacked a lot of like proper training and just had some really heavy hands. And then when you watched him fight someone like JDS, who was like, okay, Junior Dos Santos is a very talented mixed martial artist who has, you know, fought with the best. I mean, he beat Cain Velasquez, if I remember correctly. He did win one of their 3 fights.
JDS, he knocked him out in the first round.
Yeah. So like, and you know, once he fought someone who had a lot of good fights behind him and knew what they were doing, they got beat. And I think that's what's gonna happen here. I think this is gonna be the same situation where you're gonna see that, you know, last 4 wins by knockout is great, but when you're only 2-0 in the UFC and you haven't been in the organization that long, you start to get to some of these other guys who really have a history of good striking and like wrestling or whatever else it may be. You're gonna run into some problems, and you're gonna like have to start training a little differently. Like this is the, you know, kind of like a welcome to the big leagues type situation.
Pretty much.
Not that I don't think I have anything against this dude. I just think that's what's gonna happen. Like that's,
yeah,
it happens all the time. It happened to Tai Tuivasa, and it'll happen potentially to this guy.
Then we got Dennis Bermudez versus Tay Edwards. 0-1 in the UFC. Edwards won his fight on Dana White Contenders Tuesday Night Series with Eden with Matt Serra. You remember that one? Looking for a meal with Matt Serra. That was a good meal. Or that was a good thing. I got Bermudez. Looks like they might just be feeding him a young kid. Well, here's the thing. It's kind of a coin toss, and I think winner probably stays in the UFC.
Likely, yes.
Bermudez has got he's good. You know, Dennis Bermudez is really talented. His record doesn't quite reflect how talented I think he is. And when your record doesn't reflect how talented you are, when you lose fights like this, you might get caught. Bellator would be a great spot for him anyways. Like, it's not like he's not going to find work if he doesn't stay in the UFC. But this is a big one for him to win, and I think he's going to pull it off for that reason. What do you think, Uriah?
Yeah, probably. I think this might also be another like you're gonna win because you have to type situation, because I think I like what you said about the coin toss. Like the other guy could pull out, but pull it out. But I think that this other guy's gonna kind of have like a step up to the plate moment, and this is kind of like I need to win this to stay in the UFC type situation.
Yeah, definitely. So, we requested that some mixed martial artists holla at you boys. And guess what? Y'all delivered. We love our fans.
So now we deliver.
Leon Jansen, 3-1 out of Europe. Dude, first of all, is a cool dude. Go to his page. It's Leon, LeonJansenMMA. So if you go to that page, it's on Instagram. Cool page. I follow it. Super cool guy. I like him. Thanks for the like, buddy. We appreciate it. We appreciate the support. And then we got another one, Isaac Blaise, which is ISAACBLAIS. He's 1-0 out of Canada, Quebec, and his nickname is Spider-Man. So this homeboy is shooting webs at you. I mean, that's all I got for the show today. What about you?
I think that might be it, unless is there any other... Why would you do that?
That's, hey, for anyone who's watching at home, that's an iPad 1.
First gen iPad.
Or not iPad 1, just the iPad, yeah. Just the iPad. The first bad boy they ever made of them.
Like I said, 2010 was when that came out.
Still works.
9 years later.
You want to know how that works? From Organosaurus. The coconut strength of MCT powder. Ah!
Oh, hey.
Dude, it's hot in here. This was a freaking... I wanted to do this at the beginning of the episode, and I'll do it at the end. Freaking switch shirts, dude. It's freaking burning. I was sweating the whole episode.
So it's over now.
No, it's not over. Keep reading it. I just had to switch shirts.
Okay, I was going to say...
For real.
Chael Sonnen tweeted at 8:25 p.m.
During this... Was it during this? No.
Wait,
hey,
that's
stupid.
No, yeah, the 6th of January 2019, he said, "Hey, stupid, at Tito Ortiz, straight up, do you want to fight or not?"
Tito doesn't want that rematch,
No,
dude.
he does not. No, he definitely doesn't.
Tito doesn't want that rematch. I'll take it, Chael.
Man.
Submission underground.
Submission underground, yeah. Let's see if there's any...
You gotta make 185
Oh,
again.
interesting. Bellator MMA News tweeted. This is something they're quoting Rory McDonald. Said, "I am happy being on Bellator. I like the way they run their show better than the UFC runs their stuff. I am happy with my decision. Right now, it seems like I am in the better place."
Good to hear, Rory. Happy you're happy.
Interesting, to say the least. Let's see if we can find one more thing that might be interesting.
I'm just gonna flex into the camera while you do that. The whole time I'm just gonna look like this.
While looking for something, comment down below if you think we should regulate AI or not.
No. Don't comment that shit. Comment with you comment your favorite fighter. Thank you. Regulate AI. Hey, go to the AI store and download an AI in your app.
Alright. Okay, here we go. UFC 232 or 235, sorry, excuse me. 235 this is so far what they got it at.
That's not official, is it?
Might be. Here, I can go find the official one on the UFC's app.
I don't think that Jones fight's official yet. I think that's speculation. It looks like he's gonna fight out Anthony Smith.
You're probably right.
I think that's a lot of speculation.
That's based on the rumors. I'm gonna pull up the official card on the UFC app that just opened. There we go.
I don't know if Jones takes that fight. I think Jones says DC.
On that short of notice.
I think Jones says, DC, you got 3 months. You said you were gonna fight one more time before you retired. Cut the weight and come back down to defend your belt that you claim you weren't even ever losing in the first place, right?
Dude, I don't think DC can make that weight. I don't think he's gonna make it that, which is
so fight Jones at heavyweight.
I don't know if Jones wants heavyweight.
No, Jones isn't gonna fight at heavyweight because you want to know what? Jones already beat DC twice, and it's 2 out of 3 in MMA.
Yeah,
buddy.
dude. What do you? It was like the Tito Chuck fight. I'm like, this is dumb. Chuck won the first 2. Who cares?
Yeah.
When they mattered, when they were important in their primes, not when we're old men. Do you want to slug it out one last time? Like,
here's the thing, man. Tito and Chuck, it's 2 out of 3 in mixed martial arts.
And Chuck won the first.
If you get the third, if you get the trilogy, and you didn't win, except maybe in the case of Rampage Jackson, and then I could see Joanna.
Vanderlei Silva.
If Joanna beats Rose, I could
Rampage
see
Jackson,
that
is that what you're talking about?
Vanderlei Silva versus Rampage Jackson. And that
ended up going into 4 fights, and didn't he win 2 of them?
They split 2. They split 2 and 2. So you get something like that, but very rarely.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if we really need to see DC fight him again, especially because you got kicked in the head so bad last time. You didn't even know where he... Remember how Luke Rockhold, we weren't sure if he knew where he was? We know that Daniel
We knew
Cormier
you didn't know where
you
were crying because you're... like, couldn't process what was going on. You didn't know, like, you were severely concussed.
It's okay, dude. You got kicked in the head by the baddest man on the planet.
Yeah. I'm sure everyone else would have probably been completely unconscious and not waking up for a bit, but you woke up pretty quick, so that's cool.
What does it say, the official UFC?
I was able to find 234. They don't have 235 officially listed yet.
So what is it? Pull back up on Twitter what they got. They got Jones Smith.
Yeah, Jones or John Jones, Anthony Smith.
I wouldn't take that fight, John. I would wait.
I think he'd run through Anthony Smith.
I know he's gonna be an easy payday, but
alright, Tyron Woodley versus Kimura Usman. Ben Askren versus Robbie Lawler. That's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a really good fight. Holly Holm versus Aspen Ladd. Jeez, Zabit Magomed Sharipov
versus Jeremy Stevens. All right.
Yeah.
Torres, because we're going to do one of these ourselves. We got Mickey Gall, Diego Sanchez, OSP versus Kirkunov. Hey, you want to know what? There's another good podcast out there, Believe You Me, by Michael Bisping. Go give that one a watch. After you watch mine.
Yes.
And after you eat Organisaurs. Both of these things. First. And then you can watch Believe You Me. After you do both those things. And walk to get your sweat steps up.
And then you can go look at Bruce Buffer play poker online. Well, online to watch him play poker in real life.
Bruce Buffer's pretty chill. Bruce Buffer is the man, actually. I'll tell you what, if they voted person you might want to share a drink with at the bar, like
probably
tops,
Bruce Buffer,
might be Bruce Buffer, man. Like, it might be like the number one guy who's like, if you met him at the bar, and he would be pretty cool with you, even if you didn't know him. Like, I wouldn't go up to him in public, but like, if it was like, you won a contest to drink a beer with one celebrity, I might want to pick Bruce Buffer. That guy's probably met a lot of people and done a lot of fun stuff. And he keeps it chill because it's Bruce Buffer. Yeah. So, like, you don't have to worry about if it's like, he's the man.
Hey guys, this episode of The Flying Kimura was brought to you by Robinhood. Robinhood is the app that lets you trade and exchange stocks with no fees. And if you use the link in the description below, you can get yourself a free stock just for downloading it. Like I said, there's no fees to buy or sell or anything like that.
I agree. Use the link in the description. Alright. You got anything to add?
Nope.
Everyone who hates me is ugly.